This video goes over parallel and perpendicular lines. So from the investigation we did yesterday, you should have identified that parallel lines, their slope is the same. Perpendicular lines, their slopes are negative reciprocals, which means that your first slope would be A over B, and your second slope would be negative and the reciprocal, so flipped. Horizontal lines always have the form y equals b. Their slope is 0. And vertical lines always have the form x equals a, because their x coordinates are all the same, and their slope is undefined. So a horizontal line looks like this, y equals b, and a vertical line looks like this, x equals a. So example 1 asks us to state the slope of a line parallel to and a line perpendicular to. So our parallel slope would be a slope that is the same, so 5 over 7. A slope that is perpendicular would be negative and the reciprocal, or flipped. Again, our parallel slope would be one that is exactly the same. Our perpendicular slope is going to be the negative, so in this case the sign becomes positive and our fraction flips. Our final example here, a whole number. Our perpendicular slope is the same, -8, and our perpendicular slope would change the sign, and we're going to flip our fraction. Because we have a whole number, we know that our denominator of our original slope is just 1. Flipping that puts the 1 on the top and the 8 on the bottom. Example 2, we're going to state if the lines with the given slopes are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So in example A, my slopes are identical, so that means that these lines are parallel. In example B, I've got positive 2/3 and negative 2/3. They are not identical, and they're not negative reciprocals, so these lines would be neither. C, I have -7/8 and positive 8/7. These are negative reciprocals, so these lines would be perpendicular. Example D, I have 1/6 and 6, which is the reciprocal, but it's not negative, so these would be neither. Now example 3, we're going to do a little bit of graphing. I've got y equals 2, starts with y equals. I know that I have a horizontal line, and all y coordinates are 2. So I'm going to put 1 point here at y equals 2, and I'm going to put 2 other points that also have a y coordinate of 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line right through those points. That is the line y equals 2. The line x equals 5 is a vertical line, and that means all my x coordinates are -5. So I'm going to put a coordinate right here at -5. I'm going to put another one up here and another one down here. And then, using a ruler, I'm going to connect those dots, and that is my vertical line, x equals -5. So the slope of my vertical line is undefined, and the slope of my horizontal line, my slope is 0. So now I'm going to practice writing some equations of the line. So slope is 0. That is a horizontal line. All horizontal lines have the form y equals b. In this case, I know that it passes through the point 1, -2, which has the y coordinate -2. So that means all the y coordinates on that point must be y equals -2. Here, now I have the slope is undefined, So I've got a vertical line. All of these lines have the form x equals a. I know that it goes through this point right here. The x-coordinate of that point is -4. So that means that my equation has to be x equals -4. Example C. Now I'm given 2 points. I've got 3, 2, 5, 2. What you might notice here is that the y-coordinates are the same, which is a characteristic of a horizontal line. I know that horizontal lines all have the form y equals b. In this case, all of my y-coordinates are 2, so my equation must be y equals 2. You might also notice, if you don't notice that right away, you can use the formula for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We've got 2 minus 2 over 5 minus 3, which gives me 0 over minus 2, which I then figure out that my slope is 0, would be another clue to a horizontal line. Let's do one more example. Passing through these 2 points, I'm going to notice that my x-coordinates are the same. Which means that I have a vertical line. I know that all vertical lines have the form x equals a. From my points, I know that all those x-coordinates have to be x equals -7, which is my equation of the line. Now, if I don't notice that, just like before, I can use the slope formula. Substituting in my points, I would get -5 minus 3 over -7 minus -7. So now I get -8 over 0, which is an undefined slope, which should tell you that you have a vertical line. Those are examples of how to write the equations and how to graph parallel and perpendicular lines.